Welcome, dear viewers, to another chilling journey into Britain's haunted history. Tonight, we gather by the fire to explore some of the most majestic and most terrifying royal residences across the British Isles. These ancient palaces and castles have witnessed centuries of intrigue, bloodshed and royal drama, but they are not merely relics of the past. Many say their grand halls are still inhabited by the spirits of kings, queens and restless souls who refuse to leave this earthly realm behind. From Windsor Castle, where the spectres of monarchs still walk its regal corridors, to the eerie presence of a phantom monk at Buckingham Palace, these stories blend royalty with the supernatural in ways that will send shivers down your spine. Stay with us as we unveil tales of ghostly monarchs, spectral monks and ancient curses. But be warned, these are not mere stories. They are echoes of real hauntings tied to Britain's royal history. And if you dare, remember to like, subscribe and join our growing community of brave explorers delving into the myths, legends and hauntings of the British Isles. Now settle in by the fire as we embark on this ghostly journey through Britain's haunted royal palaces and castles. Our first stop on this spectral tour is none other than Windsor Castle, one of the most iconic royal residences in all of Britain. For over 1,000 years, Windsor has stood as a symbol of power, majesty and heritage. But behind its grand walls and lavish chambers, stories of restless spirits abound. One of the most prominent ghostly figures haunting Windsor is King George III, who reigned during one of Britain's most turbulent eras. Known as the Mad King due to his battle with severe mental illness, George spent much of his later life confined within the castle. It is said that his troubled spirit never left. Numerous sightings of a regal figure believed to be the king have been reported, wandering the castle grounds and corridors. He's often seen gazing forlornly out of windows, as if reliving the anguish of his final years. Some even say they can hear faint murmurs echoing from empty rooms, whispers of a king long lost to history. But George III isn't the only monarch who appears to defy the grave. The formidable Queen Elizabeth I has also been sighted within the castle's grand library. Known for her indomitable will and keen intellect, Elizabeth's spirit is said to manifest as a solemn figure, her presence exuding the same sense of authority she commanded in life. Those who have encountered her claim she moves with purpose, as if still guarding the nation she once ruled with an iron resolve. And then there are the unexplained sounds that echo through the castle late at night, ghostly footsteps that seem to come from nowhere. Guards and visitors alike have reported hearing the distinct sound of heavy boots pacing down the stone corridors, only to find themselves alone when they turn to investigate. It's a chilling experience that leaves many wondering just how many souls may still walk Windsor's ancient halls. Adding to the eerie atmosphere is the spirit of a soldier said to haunt the battlements. Dressed in period uniform, this spectral figure is often glimpsed standing guard in the dead of night before vanishing into thin air. No one knows exactly who he was in life, but his ghostly presence serves as a reminder of the countless men who once protected the crown. With its storied past, royal heritage and ghostly inhabitants, Windsor Castle is truly a place where history and the supernatural collide. Whether it's the tormented soul of King George III, the vigilant spirit of Queen Elizabeth I, or the lingering echoes of long-departed soldiers, this castle holds far more than memories. It holds secrets from beyond the grave. Leaving the grandeur of Windsor Castle behind, we journey to a place steeped in blood and betrayal, the Tower of London. A fortress, a palace and most infamously a prison, the Tower has witnessed some of the darkest moments in British history. Its walls echo with the cries of the condemned, and its chambers are said to be haunted by those who met a tragic end. While many know of Anne Boleyn's ghostly presence, today we turn our attention to other spectral figures whose restless souls still roam the ancient towers. One such spirit is Thomas Becket, the martyred archbishop who was brutally murdered in Canterbury Cathedral. But what ties Becket to the tower? Legend has it that during King Henry III's reign, construction of a new chapel within the tower was halted after workers reported seeing a glowing figure striking down the walls. The king, believing it to be the ghost of Becket disapproving of the project, ordered a chapel to be dedicated to the saint instead. To this day, some say that Becket's radiant form can still be seen near the site of his intervention, guarding the sanctity of the grounds. Another chilling tale involves the princes in the tower, the young sons of Edward IV, who mysteriously disappeared, presumed murdered, during the late 15th century. Their ghosts are said to haunt the White Tower, often appearing as pale, frightened boys, dressed in fine medieval clothing. Visitors have reported hearing their whispers and soft cries echoing through the stone walls, sending shivers down the spines of even the bravest witnesses. And then there's the phantom of Lady Jane Grey, the 9-day queen who was executed within the tower's grounds. On certain misty mornings, a sorrowful figure resembling Lady Jane has been seen standing atop the battlements, gazing over the River Thames. Her story is one of tragedy and betrayal, and her ghostly presence is a poignant reminder of her brief, ill-fated reign. Guards of the tower have their own ghostly encounters to share, many involving the shadowy figure of a soldier clad in armour and marching silently through the courtyards. These sightings have been so frequent that some of the current yeoman warders, known as beefeaters, refuse to patrol certain areas alone after dark. As we leave the tower's haunted halls, one thing is clear: this ancient fortress is more than a historical monument. It's a spectral stage where the spirits of kings, queens and commoners continue to play out their stories long after death. Each corner, each stone, holds a chilling tale, making the Tower of London one of the most haunted royal sites in Britain. Leaving behind the grim echoes of the Tower of London, we travel north to the breathtaking landscapes of Scotland, where Balmoral Castle stands amidst the rolling hills of Aberdeenshire. A favourite retreat of the royal family, this grand estate is often associated with idyllic summer holidays and quiet reflection. Yet beneath its serene façade lies a darker, more spectral tale. The ghost most famously tied to Balmoral Castle is said to be that of John Brown, Queen Victoria's trusted servant and confidant. Brown was a figure of great controversy during his lifetime, with rumours swirling about his close relationship with the widowed Queen. After his death in 1883, it was reported that Queen Victoria mourned deeply, and some say that her grief summoned his spirit back to Balmoral. Numerous sightings of Brown's ghost have been reported over the years. Dressed in his traditional Highland attire, he's often seen wandering the grounds and corridors of the castle, as if continuing his duties long after his death. His presence is said to be accompanied by a distinct chill in the air, and those who've encountered him describe an overwhelming sense of solemnity, as though they've walked into a forgotten moment of history. Another strange occurrence tied to Balmoral involves phantom bagpipes, heard echoing through the glens surrounding the castle. Legend has it that a piper once played here to entertain the royal family, only to mysteriously vanish one stormy night. Ever since, his mournful tune has occasionally drifted through the air on misty evenings, as though the hills themselves remember the melody. While Balmoral may be a place of royal relaxation, its spectral legends add a layer of mystery to its beauty. It reminds us that even the most picturesque settings can harbour stories of loss, longing, and the lingering presence of those who once walked its halls. From the tranquil yet haunted Balmoral Castle, we journey west to Wales, where the imposing Caernarfon Castle stands sentinel over the River Sayont. Built by Edward I during his conquest of Wales in the late 13th century, Caernarfon Castle is one of the most significant royal fortresses in British history. With its polygonal towers and sprawling battlements, it commands both awe and a chilling sense of foreboding. The castle's ghostly tales are deeply tied to its turbulent past. Legend has it that the spirit of Eleanor of Castile, Edward I's queen, roams the castle grounds. Eleanor died before the castle was fully completed, but her association with the site was strong. Visitors have reported seeing a spectral figure dressed in flowing medieval garments, often near the Queen's Gate. Some say she appears when the air is particularly cold and still, her translucent form gliding silently through the castle corridors. But the most unsettling legend tied to Caernarfon Castle is that of the headless soldier. This eerie apparition is believed to be the ghost of a Welsh soldier who was executed during one of the many sieges that the castle endured. He is said to haunt the inner ward, appearing suddenly to unsuspecting visitors before vanishing into the shadows. Caernarfon is also known for its association with Owain Glyndwr, the last native Prince of Wales. Though his ghost is not among the reported apparitions, the castle walls still echo with the defiant spirit of his rebellion. Some locals believe that on certain nights the sounds of battle can be faintly heard, clashing swords and distant cries carried on the wind from centuries past. Whether it's the forlorn figure of a queen, the terrifying spectre of a headless soldier, or the ghostly echoes of a long-lost battle, Caernarfon Castle remains steeped in royal history and supernatural lore. Its ancient stones whisper tales of power, conquest, and those who refuse to be forgotten. Leaving behind the medieval battlements of Caernarfon, we cross into Scotland, where the ruins of Linlithgow Palace stand amid rolling countryside. Once a grand royal residence, Linlithgow Palace holds a special place in Scotland's history as the birthplace of Mary, Queen of Scots. But beneath its elegant façade lies a chilling undercurrent of supernatural legend. The most well-known spectre here is the White Lady of Linlithgow, a ghostly figure that has been spotted wandering the palace corridors and grounds for centuries. Described as a pale, ethereal figure in flowing white robes, she is said to appear on moonlit nights, often near the fountain courtyard. Some believe she is the spirit of a noblewoman who met a tragic fate within the palace walls, though her identity remains a mystery. What adds to her mystique is that she is sometimes seen weeping, as if mourning some long-forgotten sorrow. Another eerie tale tied to Linlithgow is that of the death omen associated with the palace. Legend has it that before great misfortunes befall the Scottish royal family, a ghostly apparition appears in the palace chapel. This chilling tale was reportedly linked to the fire that destroyed much of the palace in the mid-18th century. Some claim that just before the fire broke out, locals saw strange lights flickering in the chapel windows, though no one was inside. There's also the story of the phantom footsteps said to belong to a long-dead soldier. Echoing through the empty halls, these footsteps are often heard late at night when the palace grounds are eerily silent. Those who have dared to investigate always find nothing but cold stone and shadows. Despite its current state of ruin, Linlithgow Palace remains steeped in royal grandeur and ghostly mystery. Whether you believe in the White Lady's sorrowful presence or the ominous warning of spectral omens, Linlithgow stands as a haunting reminder of Scotland's storied past, where history and legend are forever intertwined. From the windswept ruins of Linlithgow, we move south to the grandeur of Buckingham Palace, the heart of the British monarchy. This iconic residence is synonymous with regal splendour and historical events, but few are aware of its more chilling secrets. One of the eeriest stories tied to Buckingham Palace is that of the ghostly monk who is said to haunt the palace's rear terrace. The legend dates back to before the palace was even built, when the land housed a monastery. According to the tale, a monk who had committed an unforgivable sin was bricked up alive in a section of the monastery walls as punishment. Over time, the monastery was demolished and Buckingham Palace rose in its place, but the tormented spirit of the monk is believed to remain. Visitors and palace staff have reported sightings of a spectral figure in a long dark robe gliding silently across the terrace at twilight. Some have even claimed to hear faint chanting in the dead of night, though no source for the sounds has ever been found. The monk is said to exude an aura of sorrow, as if still bearing the weight of his earthly sins. Adding to the palace's eerie history, it's said that during World War II, when Buckingham Palace was bombed, unusual occurrences were reported in the aftermath. Staff working to repair the damage spoke of cold spots, unexplained whispers, and shadowy figures flitting through the darkened corridors. Despite its public-facing glamour, Buckingham Palace harbours secrets that seem to bridge the world of the living and the dead. Whether the monk's spirit is a restless guardian of the past, or simply an echo of history, those who have encountered him are left with no doubt. Even in the heart of modern London, the past is never truly at rest. Leaving the bustling streets of London behind, we journey to the Norfolk countryside, where Sandringham House stands as a cherished royal retreat. Known for its picturesque gardens and peaceful surroundings, Sandringham seems the perfect place for quiet reflection. Yet beneath this serene exterior lies a legacy of ghostly tales that have haunted the royal family for generations. One of the most enduring stories is that of King George V, who passed away at Sandringham in January 1936. Shortly after his death, staff members reported strange occurrences, including cold gusts of wind in sealed rooms and the feeling of being watched. Some have claimed to see the spectral figure of an elderly man resembling George V, quietly walking through the halls late at night. But perhaps the most chilling story involves the phantom hound of Sandringham. Descriptions of the spectral dog vary. Some say it's a large black dog with glowing red eyes, while others describe it as a pale, shadowy figure. Legend has it that the dog appears as a harbinger of misfortune, often before significant or tragic events in the royal family. Witnesses report that the hound moves without a sound, vanishing into thin air when approached. The servants' quarters and staff corridors are said to be particularly active, with unexplained noises. Footsteps echoing when no one is there, doors opening and closing of their own accord, and strange lights flickering in empty rooms. Despite its reputation as a place of rest and family gatherings, Sandringham's darker stories have lingered for decades, whispered among staff and locals alike. Whether it's the spirit of a former monarch keeping a watchful eye or the ominous presence of the ghostly hound, Sandringham House serves as a reminder that even royal residences can be touched by the supernatural. As the final embers of our fire crackle and fade, we close this chapter of Britain's royal hauntings. From the spectral echoes of Windsor Castle to the dark tales whispered within the ancient walls of Caernarfon and Linlithgow, these palaces and castles aren't just relics of history. They're places where the veil between past and present remains thin. The restless spirits of kings and queens, monks and soldiers, and even ghostly hounds remind us that behind the grandeur of royalty lies a shadowy world of mystery. If you've enjoyed this journey through Britain's haunted royal residences, we invite you to join us by the fire again. There are countless more stories waiting to be told. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and become a member to unlock exclusive content. Every like, comment, and share helps us keep the fire burning and the stories flowing. As the night deepens and shadows lengthen, we thank you for joining us on this chilling journey. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, when it comes to the ghostly echoes of Britain's past, there's always more than meets the eye. Good night, and we'll see you by the fire again soon.